Liberia. You know, every time there is election, we are more interested in the winning candidates. We want to shift that focus tonight and talk about those who were unsuccessful in their attempt, in winning that elections, and see what their experiences are, or what their experiences were, and what their plans are. Discuss some current events as these events unfold in their districts, and we get to know what their next plan of action will be. So invite someone and let us talk to one of those candidates who was unsuccessful in the 2017 elections, in the person of Gallah Jegbadai-Fully. Mrs. Fully, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you.
We want to welcome all our viewers across the world. This is Focus on Liberia, and along with me is my co-host, Mrs. Danielle Knuckles-Guishard, who's going to take it away from here. First, give us the importance of this interview and introduce our guest, if you don't mind.
Yes, thanks, Dennis, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. Before we begin, as always, I just want to remind everyone to please like our Facebook page, Focus on Liberia, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Focus on Liberia. After we tape live, we post our interviews on YouTube for your perusal. So tonight, as Dennis said, we have a former candidate for the House of Representatives, Sino County, District 3, Mrs. Gallah Jegbadai-Fully. And to tell you a little bit about Mrs. Fully, she is a registered nurse and president and CEO of Support Staff Healthcare, Inc. in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. As a young African immigrant, accompanied by her parents to the United States of America, Mrs. Jegbadai-Fully braved the very radical changes in not just geographical climate, but also the social environments and educational challenges she faced on arrival in the U.S. Her academic excellence proves that no matter who you are or where you come from, intellectual development can be very rewarding. Having faced daunting situations herself and her family back in Liberia, and seeing others who could barely provide health care for themselves in their respective households, those challenges made an indelible resolve in her to pursue a career in the health sector. Her passion to see the sick aided and brought back to good health drove her to obtaining a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing from North Carolina State A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina. Mrs. Jegbadai-Fully has made good her academic achievements by literally backing them up with other diplomas and professional trainings. Philanthropy is one of her passions. To this end, she has made remarkable contributions to worthy causes towards healthcare development, social and humanitarian services, women and children-oriented programs, and religious events, to mention a few. So again, welcome, Mrs. Jegbadai-Fully.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Fully ran on the ticket of the United People's Party in District number 3 in Sino County, that's the Juazon area. And she went against a couple of candidates, including the incumbent, Ms. Honorable Mavi Zaza, who's right now the representative for Sino County District number 3. As I said previously, normally when the results are announced, we listen to the best speeches of all the winners, and little is said about those who did not win. Tonight, we want to talk to Mrs. Fully on her experience, so as to know whether, after elections, whether people wash their hands and just bid the voters farewell since they didn't win, or they are still involved and attached to that district. We want to find that out so that we can know, because our people deserve to know. Once again, Mrs. Fully, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Let me start by saying, where is District number 3? Give us a little, background of District number 3 in Sino County.
District number 3 is it's a pretty large district by land masses, but as far as population, we do not have no, the human population is not there. District number 3 is pretty much it has 3 major statutory districts within the district. You have the Joasson section, then you have the Sanko, and then you have the Tajuan. Then within that, they have other districts. So district number 3 is pretty big. Big as far as land, but as far as population with humans, no, we are very small. I think we had about maybe 14 to 17,000 registered voters in district number 3.
Okay, and so what made you decide to run for the House in 2017? And when did you make that decision?
Actually, right after the war, I was in and out of Liberia maybe every 3 to 4 months. And I was constantly in the country, doing things in the community, carrying medical supply, educational supply, you name it, I was doing it. And then when I became president for the Sapo Association, that allowed me to be in the country more. And I had a lot of projects in the country, but my focus was usually in Monrovia. I really did not, travel to Sino. So I decided to go to Sino around 2006, 2007. When I went to Sino, honestly, I couldn't even believe it. It's like a different country within Liberia and in the Joasson district. So at that time, my focus shifted to Sino County, shifted to district number 3 to Joasson district, and started doing a lot of work in the district and whatnot. It was around 2015 that I decided that I will run for the House, because I noticed, a lot of people say, if you're doing things in the community, so why will you run? But they fail to understand that the politics in Liberia, and I don't want to say in Africa, but in Liberia, as such, if you're in your community trying to provide services in your community, you tend to make those people who are in position nervous. And so some of your projects are a little less, I'm trying to find the right term. You have some difficulty. So in other words, in order to make some changes, you have to be part of the process. So around 2015, close to 2015, I decided that I was going to run. I spoke with my husband, and he's very supportive, and he said, okay, go ahead. So from 2015, we start working on the process, start trying to see how best to get in the race. And between right at the end of 2015, I finally made my decision that, okay, I am going to get in the race, because there's a lot of changes that needs to happen, and you can't make those changes when you're outside. You have to be inside to make those changes, and that's how I got in the race.
So what can you tell us about your experience, your campaigning, and just for your camp? What was that like? Oh,
it's a lot. It was difficult. It was very difficult. I will tell you that. Because the district is in a way so large. I mean, the district go as far as towards the ocean, and going towards Grand Jita to, on the other side of Joasson itself, going towards Vubadi. So the district is very, very large, and it was very difficult. The process was hard. It was not easy. It's a very hard process. I think I started a little late. Though I was thinking 2015, I should have put more effort towards my involvement as far as going around the district, because it's such a large district. So the process was, as much as it was difficult, but it was very interesting. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about our people, their thinking, the tradition, the culture. just the overall how they see politics, and that was very interesting to me because I came with a different concept and they had a different concept, and I think that was part of the defeat right there, because I had a different way of thinking, and their thinking when it comes to politics is not based on issue. They're not looking at issue that is pertaining to the community, issue that is affecting them. They're looking at the who is popular, who can give me this at this moment, instant gratification. So it was pretty difficult. The process was pretty much difficult for me.
Can you tell us, I guess, of just a story of like a really honest moment you may have had with some of the voters in the district?
Well, there's a lot of stories, but one of the things that is very interesting, as much as they had their mind made up who they're going to vote for, when you enter a town, they welcome you so well. They do such a good job. They will find you a place to stay. They will feed you. So there was a lot of stories that were so like touching to me, because I went to places that there was absolutely no way for you to go and get even a pain medicine. There was no way, there was no school. You should see all those little children, and there was absolutely no school for them. So now I would start thinking to myself, what are their chances in life, especially the female child? What is her chance in life? There is absolutely no school, no health care, nothing. They are so far, very, very remote. We have so many remote places in District Number 3. And so some of those things was like, I would take myself as a child that was born in Liberia, I was born in West Point, and I would so much put myself into one of those children. I said, this could have been me. This could be me. This could be where my I guess that's my destiny. So a lot of it was very touching to me, that our people are blessed to be where they are, but they are surviving by the mere blessing of God, because they do not have the kind of simple and basic necessity that is necessary to just be a human being, and that's how I felt. So a lot of the stories were healthcare related. They're telling you about women dying at childbirth, and dying at childbirth it is a normal thing, and they talk about it as it's a normal thing. And being a nurse, I'm completely shocked. Like, no, that's not normal. But then again, it is what it is.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia. We are discussing with a former contestant for the House of Representatives, Mrs. Jegbadai-Fully, who contested against Mr. Matthew Zaza and the rest of the candidates in Juaza. Mrs. Fully, you mentioned that so prior to your run for the House, you served as president of the SAPO organization here in the U.S. And you were part of, and you said you were delivering some supplies, and right there. You mentioned that when you're doing those things, there are some impediments if you are not part of the system. Give me some examples what you couldn't do, to impact lives that you wanted to do as a representative.
Well, one of the things that is still sometimes when I think about it, I get really, really upset. It was I want to say between 2008, 2009, the association was given medical supply by Duke Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. They have a program where basically if you're a nonprofit, you can go there and they will give you medical supplies, and they're very, they want to help out, in developing country. So we got the supplies and whatnot. And prior to those supplies being shipped to Liberia, like I said, I was in the country every 3 to 4 months. And I make all the necessary arrangement, spoke with all the people I need to speak to, and they assure me everything will be fine. the container left in November. It got in the country in November. And of course, I went back to Liberia to run after it and to see everything was okay. And to my surprise, the story changed. When you have appointments with people, they're too busy. This went on for some time. And if I tell you that the container did not get clear until the following year, June, by that time, everything in the container was destroyed. We just had a little bit that we saved, and I was so upset about it. But when you're making those provocative moves in your community, you scare those who are in position. And I realized that my moves were pretty threatening to a lot of people. And when that happened, I think that was the final straw right there, when I was given assurance that that container was going to be clear and the medical supply was going to go to our people, and everything changed from that point on. I started realizing this is how things are done. This is how people behave in Liberia when they're in position, because they have a feeling that you are after their job. They make that statement: my position, my job. And that was very hurtful for me. And sometimes when you see things like that, you say, okay, I have to be part of the process. I have to be, in order for me to make those kind of changes, I have to be part of the process. I can't come and clean your house if I don't live in your house. It's kind of difficult. How am I going to know what the problem is if I'm not part of that? So that was the decision right there, that in order to make those major changes, to really see things the way they should be, you have to be part of the process.
And there are questions already coming on Facebook. So Danielle, before you continue, I have 3 questions here on Facebook for Gallah. Number one is, there's a question from Phil, who's currently in Lofa. I say, can you speak the Sapo language? Can you speak the Sapo dialect? He said.
No, and you know what? And that's another negative, that I could not speak the Sapo dialect. And and that was the other thing that people use against you. You can't speak the dialect. It's necessary that you have some understanding. But what our people have to understand is, you're not speaking dialect when you're in the house. You're not speaking dialect when you are advocating for their needs. You're not speaking dialect when you are on the floor, when you're a floor fighter. You're speaking the universal language of the country, which is English. No, I don't speak the dialect. And then I would tell a lot of them, some of those people who are running, some of those people who are in the race, that children don't even speak the dialect. And unfortunately, I'm understanding a little bit, and that was some of the things I have to put down as, look, speaking the dialect is very important. It is very important, but we have to educate our people. Speaking the dialect is not going to bring the changes that you really need.
Let me ask one more question before we go back to Danielle. Josh Toto, that's the EULA board chair, say, with all the help people in the diaspora are rendering to Liberia, what is the main cause why diaspora Liberians are not being successful in elections in Liberia? You came from the diaspora, you were not successful like others. I think all of those who came from the US to run in Liberia in 2017 lost. Josh Tutu saying, why is that?
I can't honestly say I know the reason why. I cannot say I know the reason why. But then we have to go back. Those who are in the position came from the diaspora. They came from the diaspora. They were in the diaspora, and then they were opportune to get a job within the government, and then use that opportunity to then run. So they came from the diaspora. It's not that you come from the diaspora and you didn't win. No, I wouldn't say that. Over 85% of those in government came from the diaspora. So in 2017, I can't honestly say that I know the answer to that, but our people tend to play a double sword. I mean, they want the support from the diaspora. Then when you get there, you have those who are in position will pretty much tell them, oh, these people are coming to take the opportunity that belongs to you. You know, so Liberians have a way of trying to divide each other. I'm good when I'm giving, but when I want to be part of, then I'm a bad person. That's the kind of politics that is being played.
Well, we have another question from Facebook. Phil's Varfi says, after losing the election, what is the next plan for your people to improve their living conditions? So I guess, yeah. What's the plan?
Well, I mean, you can't say what's the next plan for your people to improve their living condition. I guess it would be what my next plan would be. Losing the election was actually a blessing. I'm not going to lie to you, because it had given me the opportunity to have a really, really, I guess, clear view, a good view of, you know, what the needs and how our people are living. I think being part of the election was one of the best decisions that I had made in my adult life. You know, I had a lot of people sit down, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you tell me to sit down when you didn't see me standing up? So losing the election was actually a good thing. And now I have the opportunity to even do more. Now, you know, there's nowhere in district number 3 that I can enter that nobody don't know me. Now everybody know me. You know, nobody's asking me about speaking dialect. Everybody know me. They know who I am. If I say I will do it, I will do it. So losing the election really gives me the opportunity to be around our people. I'm still very much involved in the district. The needs of our people is that we have to really educate our people about the process of politics, the process of election. They do not understand it, and a lot of people use that against them because they don't understand what politics is and what the election process is. So basically, their needs, they will tell you what their needs are.
And you say that running for representative was one of the best decisions of your adult life. Can you tell us if there was a moment during the process when you considered quitting or thought, you know what, this is too much, let me step out?
I never. That question was asked to me. I never considered quitting. That was the whole thing. It never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind that I want to give up. It never crossed my mind. I mean, I went on a competitive scholarship to earn my degree. So I am a competitor. So I never decided, it never crossed my mind that I wanted to pretty much quit. I was very driven. I was very driven to finish the process, and finishing the process was something, is a personal goal of mine, that I finished the process, because when you have a lot of people basically negative, and the negativities are coming from people that's within your own crowd. And I was like, okay, if you don't have a vision, I have a vision. My father taught me, he told me I can be anything and do anything I want to be. So I'm not going to listen to you. If you want to be visionless, that's your business. So I was very, very driven to be part of the election. Win or lose, I'm not going anywhere.
So what was that one thing that kept driving you, that you didn't want to even think about quitting?
The one thing that kept driving me was the support I had from other people. Because, you know, when people put trust in you and they're behind you and they support you, you have to also put trust in them. So that was one of the biggest things, because I had some really strong supporter, and they believe in me. And one of those supporters was my mom. You know, as long as my mom said it was okay, I didn't care what anybody said. My mom is a typical old traditional woman, and she believed in me, and so she supported me, and I could not let her down. So I mean, I just think about those who was behind me.
I look at the the result. I see that the winner had like maybe 54%, the second like 13%, and so on and so forth. And you were in a very distant. Why do you think you lost the election?
Well, there were several reasons. You would think, being the only female candidate and being the first female candidate to ever contest in that district, you would think that I will be a major threat. And in the minds of those who were in the race, I was a major threat. They worry about me a lot. I mean, I knew people will go on some of my project and take picture and post it on Facebook, and they have these young guys, you know, their job is to just tarnish you and whatnot. But the thinking of our people, of the voters, are not the same thinking of the people who are running. And me not being close had to do with a lot of things. Women really did not support it, you know, support me. The women did not support me. Though the women were in majority, you know, we have more women, they did not support me. That was one thing. The other thing, decisions was made, you know, when our people make their mind up, they make their mind up. And they had some other things that was going on. You know, that's what I was told. But I think the major reason why I did not win was due to the fact that the women, you know, when people say politics is interest, they're not understanding politics is not an individual interest. It is a collective interest. And you vote for those people who are going to advocate your interests. So they had different views. But, you know, I'm trying to change those views. I'm trying to let them know that, you know, the politics is not who popular or who can come and bring music and food and you sing and dance. The politics is those people who can really go out there and actually advocate and tell you, look, dying in childbirth is not a normal thing. Okay, dying. So women fail to understand that they have to vote on interests, and the interests have to be their interests. So basically, that was it. That was my biggest. I think that was one of my biggest blows.
Dennis, any other questions from Facebook?
Right. There are questions from Facebook. First, Newell Jr. wanted you to correct. He said the data regarding the number of districts in electoral district 3. He wants you to update that information. I don't know what the right information is. And
well, I'm not sure what he mean by update. I made it very clear. I said the district is very large. It has 3 major districts within district number 3. You know, it has 3 major. You have the Joisson, you have the Saint-Coin, and you have the Tidron. And within those districts, you have other districts. So I'm not really sure what he's asking.
Okay. And when you were talking about the dialect, somebody saying you need the dialect to actually interact with the people so that they can feel that connection. True. Did that stop you from?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I'm talking to you now because we're on a professional conference. So I am talking to you on a professional conference, but I may not speak the dialect, but I can get to the level where the people can understand me. the statement is very, very true. If you want to run in the interior, that you have to have a communication with the people. But I don't, speaking the dialect is a lazy argument, is one of those things that keep us behind as people, because we have a habit. Like I said, when you're in the diaspora, everything is good. You helping, everything is good. But when you go there, things change. We have a habit of finding different things on each other to try to dissect and separate each other, to try to say, oh, you're not speaking the dialect. So speaking the dialect is an issue for me. But the communication, our people still understand English. I don't talk like this when I'm in Liberia. I can go right down to the Oma and say, Oma, how you doing? But so when people stick on speaking the dialect, that is a lazy argument.
Do you have plans of running again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Man, the day of election was actually the same day I was planning to join the race again. I'm not somebody that will run away. I do believe that I have something to offer. I do believe that the district needs someone that can truly represent them. So I am absolutely, God willing, if I have this strength, I'm still breathing, 2023, I will be in the race. Like I said, those mistakes that was made in 2017, those are the mistakes we're working on, trying to bring people that have the knowledge of our people to educate me, to help me understand. So 2023, I think I will be even, I don't know how you call it, motivated than I was in 2017. 2017 was a trial run. 2023 is going to be the real run.
Got it. We have another question from Facebook. George Toto asks, do you think the infight in the Sapo community in the U.S. was one of the factors in your defeat?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Though people in the diaspora can call a family member and say, don't vote for that person, vote for this person. People in the diaspora do have some influence on their family in Liberia, but I don't really think so. I honestly do not think so.
And so from my own experiences of being in Liberia during the election season, I realized a lot of every candidate has to spend quite a bit of money. So how was that for you? What was your fundraising like?
Fundraising is one of my strengths. I must say, everybody have things that they're good at, and I'm very good at raising money. I'm very good at talking, so I know how to get around people and put my cause and my issue on the table. So I started my fundraiser right here in the U.S., and I had people at my job, a lot of people, supporting me. You do need a lot of money, and as far as how you spend the money was very important. So my fundraising, I had a few people to help me in Liberia, but not many. But most of my money came from right here in the U.S.
Awesome.
So if you're advising me or anyone listening to this broadcast, what would that be? Who wants to run? How much money does that require? What are those pre-jitters that must be taken care of before putting your foot in the race?
Well, it's a lot of things. You have a lot that you have to prepare for, and I can't really put a figure. I cannot put a figure on what you need. I think each candidate knew their own strength and how much money they have to have. If I have to guess, you will need a little bit over $30,000, US, because prior to prior to the election, you have several things you have to take care of. You have a lot of things you have to do as far as your campaign and the things you have to purchase. You have T-shirts. You just have a lot. And you know, I continue to say those are some of these mistakes that was made. You have to have a budget. You cannot have your campaign budget, the money that you're going to campaign with, and then also use the money to buy things for the campaign. You have to have two separate budget. So those are some of the strategy that I'm working on, and you know, hopefully we will not have that problem. And I don't think we're going to have that problem. Come 2023, we're not going to have that problem as far as finance. So to tell other candidates, if you want to run, you have to be strong.
Now let's go into the district. Let's talk about your district. You know, I know there is a tendency, and many people have been asking that as soon as you lose an elections, you just walk away. So I want to see whether you are, how involved are you with the day-to-day activities in District Number 3, Sino County? What's going on there? Just talk to us.
Okay, well, I heard the same thing too after the election, and people would just leave. And actually, I've seen it. There were a lot of candidates that had ran prior in the district, and after they were not successful, they left. And those people would then come back when another election come around. Well, in my case, like I said, I did not have a big crew, but I had some very strong people behind me, and they really believe in me. So after the election ended in October, and then I came back, got myself together, and I went back and I made sure that I visit those communities to tell them thank you, because it was an experience that I don't care what anybody tell you. People, they want to tell you about election. You have to actually experience it. You have to experience it to really, really know what it's all about. Nobody can teach you about running, being part of an election. So I went back to tell the people thank you. I went as far as Vubadi, you know, to tell the people thank you. And they really and truly appreciate that. They really honestly appreciate it. And I was sincere about it. I mean, I was very, very grateful. You didn't vote for me, but the way you treated me when I come to your town, I was very, very grateful. You know, they protected me. I mean, everyone treated me like family. Everyone treated me like family. So I went back, and then I started getting more ideas about what we can do in the district. One of the things I did was there's schools in one way, Shebestown, and let me see, it's another school that we went, and we donated some educational supply. That was a couple of months ago. As of today, I had a program in Joisson and donated some medical supply at the clinic. We have a brand new clinic in Joisson. So I donated some medical supply. That was today. So I am very involved in the community. In my own town, Bartlestown, you know, they can't go out of educational supply. You know, we have the opportunity to get these things for almost nothing, especially when the back to school program comes up. So I'm very, very much involved in our district. You know, I'm not going as frequent like I should, but I'm still involved.
I think that's a picture of some of your donation in Joisson as I was researching.
Yes. And you know, it's very painful to be. I don't know about other people. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse since 1996. I take care of other people. I treat other people as though they were family. I have group homes. People live in my home. I take care of them. Then when I go to my own mother's land, my own father's land, and I can't even help my own people. That is ridiculous. You call the clinic. Can you imagine that people have to go buy paper to register themselves? So I was like, okay, it's not much. It is not much, but this is a start. and I commit myself to that clinic, and I will commit myself to any healthcare project in the district, that I am not going to be a registered nurse and I can't provide for my people. I will do what I can do. If you need something, I think I can do it, I will tell you, I will do it. So being involved in the community, yes, you know, I'm a politician, but I focus more on the humanitarian part about it, because my people are very important to me. Yeah, everybody came from somewhere. They're very, very much important to me. You know, I have a saying, what good is your education if your community can't benefit from that education? It is no good.
There is a comment on Facebook based on what you said before. Kukunyo Ulete says, you sound disappointed in the people. And he's drawing this from what you said. He quoted you as saying, they think I'm only good when I'm helping. By that statement, Kukunyo Ulete believes that you sound very disappointed in the people. Your reaction?
No, I'm not disappointed in the people. I think when we were talking about the diaspora, and I put myself in as part of the diaspora. When you are doing, you're okay, they're happy. And then when you try to be part of, you have them fighting against you. So I'm not disappointed in the people when it comes to the election. Actually, I was very much appreciative of the people, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about my own self. I learned a lot that I may think a different way, I may have a different concept, but they're thinking something else. And if you want to represent your people, you have to represent the way they want you to represent them. So I wasn't disappointed in the people. I was referring to the attitude of our people overall, Liberian as a whole, how they treat those in the diaspora. That's what I was referring to.
And considering you said you would run again in 2023, how do you think the current legislator is doing right now? How do you think he's taking care of the district?
That is a very, that's an interesting question, because, you know, truth is sometimes very painful for our people. And whenever you give an opinion or you criticize, it come across as you're envy, or you hate the person, or you don't like the person. So our people, you know, those who are in leadership, they do not like criticism. They take it as being enemy. They take it as you hate them. To say how this person is doing or what they're not doing I honestly believe that question belongs to those people who are right now under the care of that representative. Do I see any change in the district? Not really. I don't see any change in the district. I'm talking about change as in focusing on the basic necessity of life. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about healthcare. What the people do that to keep them going. And agriculture is a major player in the district. You know, I don't know the percentage, but I would think that 99% of the people in the district are farmers. Are they receiving the kind of support? Are they receiving what they need as farmers? I mean, we have a ministry, so what the agriculture ministry is doing for our people, that comes from the person who is representing our people. What the health ministry is doing, you know, that comes from the person who is representing our people. Education is the same. If I say, the person say, oh, I have 200 person on scholarship, that's 200 persons. So what happened to the other 900 person that is not on your scholarship? You know, so they have this individual like way of helping people. So honestly, to say what the person is doing, what the person is not doing is a subject that will just make other people to say, oh, you hate the person, you envy, you this, you that. So criticism does not go well with our people.
So what could you have done differently if you were in the House now?
Well, I think for me, personally speaking, like I said earlier, I come with a different mindset. It's good to be in Morovia, but I personally feel that as a representative, if I had the opportunity, I would spend more time in my district to really understand what is going on, to really know exactly what is going on, to have town hall meetings, so to see how best we all can work together as a team. So really, my plans, if you have the opportunity, those are plans that I plan to implement, if I'm given the chance to be represented. So I can't really expose myself as far as what my plans are, but if I had the opportunity, I really think that letting the people know what is going on in Monrovia is very important. It is extremely important for them to know. That is how our people are going to understand the process. And one of the things I would do is actually have people go out there to educate our people about politics. It's important. You have to understand the process. Politics is not who is popular. Politics is, though you win on who is popular, but the person who you trying to put in office, they should be able to articulate the issue that is affecting you. If that person cannot articulate those issues that is affecting you, then you don't need that person. That person is supposed to have the passion to know that, look, I can go on that floor. I can go and negotiate. I can go and collaborate with my colleagues to make sure that issue as far as childbirth is somewhat resolved. So I think, given the opportunity, I would spend a lot of time in the district. I honestly would. I will be there to know exactly, what they really want me to do.
And so how do you feel that the overall House of Representatives and government is doing right now?
I think that is very difficult. I came in on the UPP ticket, and I honestly believe that we are kind of leaving I guess the subject. Not leaving the subject, not us right now. I'm talking about we as Liberian. People see opposition as enemy. You need opposition to actually provide that checks and balance. So what they're doing right now, I think, is a lot of infighting, a lot of confusion, and it causing development to be a little impede things on. I really, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to answer that question, to see what you're doing, because when you spend a lot of time on fighting amongst yourself, it's kind of hard to do some work for your people.
Currently, I think it was last year, 2018, when Senator Joseph Nambwe was expelled and Representative Matthew Zaza suspended from the Sino Legislative Caucus. Mr. Nambwe have moved on the Supreme Court, but to what extent is that suspension from the Sino Legislative Caucus of Mr. Honorable Zaza, who's representing your district, to what extent is that impacting District Number 3?
It's not just District Number 3, just say Sino County. Yeah. I guess what's the term? Confusion or the misunderstanding within those people that represent Sino as a whole is affecting the entire county. It's actually affecting the entire county. And then you have people who support either one of those gentlemen, and they are fighting amongst themselves. It's easy. You can just go on Facebook right now, and you'll see this camp is saying all kinds of ugly things about this person, and so their behavior is actually a trickle-down effect to the young people. What is happening in the house is actually happening in the district. So I really think that is one of the biggest problems when it comes to development. It is not in just District Number 3. It is in entire Sino County.
Interesting. So how do you think the executive branch of the government is doing right now?
I really think they're trying, because They are trying. You have people that have different views. There are some things I honestly believe that can be corrected. You know, when you're in the executive branch and you spend a lot of time posting on Facebook trying to I guess explain. I don't think you should do that. The people who are in the executive branch, because when you're trying to explain, that means you're trying to prove something. So, but I think they're trying. I'm very happy with the road condition. So I'm very, very happy about it, because what people fail to understand, in order to develop, you must have access. And we don't have access. You look at Sino County right now, everything is over the top. Because to get to Sino, sometimes in some year, Sino County is separated from the rest of the country every 6 months because of rain. The road is absolutely destroyed. So I think the focus of the government right now to try to give us some road connectivity is a very good thing. So I think they're really trying. I really think they're trying. There are other side show that distracting the progress and the ability to try to shut down opposition. I think that's wrong, because you need opposition, because once upon a time you were opposition, and sometimes you need people to be on your back so you can do your best. I like people to oppose me. I like people to criticize me, because it make me strong. It make me very, very strong. It make me want to work even more. So if you look at it, the executive branch, in my mind, they're trying their very best, and they need to ignore some of the side show that is going on.
And if you are a guest, let me give this number, 706-684-0392. If you want to be part of the discussion, please call us, 706-684-0392. Go ahead, Danielle.
Yes, and speaking of current events specific to Sino County, I believe it was in January, we learned of the 2 young women who were paraded through the streets naked after they were accused of being witches. What were your thoughts on that incident, and how do you think those in government could help with cases like that?
Honestly, I was really shocked when I saw it. I thought it was, at first I thought it was fake. I really did. I thought it was fake, because a lot of things on Facebook, you can't really believe it sometimes. But I was really shocked. I was disappointed. And we'll go back to the lack of. So it's that is something that require a lot of education. A lot of education is needed. What the current government or leadership has done or didn't do, I'm not really sure. But I'm believing that behind the scene, they are trying to educate our people. I'm honestly believing that's what they're trying to do. To naked a woman and say that she is a witch, those are beliefs that is foreign to me. And to speak on that, people may take it as, oh, you are against the culture and the tradition. So I honestly believe that the leadership are working behind the scene, and they're trying to resolve the problem. They're trying to educate our people. This is not what you do. We are in a very, very modern world. It's 2019, and those behavior are not going to be tolerated. So I really believe that was one of the most disappointing things that came from, to be exact, from my own people. I was very disappointed about it.
But what is if you look at the driver of that, people are being accused of witches. So you talk about healthcare facilities, you talk about all those things. So how do we tackle that problem to the root?
A lot of our issue that is disturbing us as a people is education. That's what it is. Education does not mean that you have to have a PhD, a master's degree. Education is just understanding and, you know, knowing that you cannot do that. How you know this person is a witch? If this person's a witch, that means you are a witch, because witch gotta know witch. So it is a lack of knowledge and that mob mentality that our people tend to have. What can we do? The only thing I can say is a lot of things require just trying to educate our people, trying to let them know, and the young people can take a lead on that. And most of those guys who actually help naked those women were young guys. They were young guys, you know. They you know. So for me, I will always say that my job is to try to educate my people as much as I can. Try to educate them on a lot of things. When you go to healthcare, there's a lot of things that is affecting our community, and it's just simple education. I've been to some town where all the little kids have these little bumps and rash on their body, and it's very contagious. It goes to another person and whatnot. That is because of the condition where they're living in, you know. So it's not so much that you have to be, like I said, a PhD holder. Is to just basically educate the people, hand washing, you know, those basic things. So I'll always focus on education.
And do you have any final thoughts for our viewers today?
Well, I am definitely going to run in 2023. I'm very grateful that though, you know, we have a lot to learn and whatnot, but we have a lot of our young gentlemen and ladies that are on the social media and they know how things are operated around the world, that, you know, when you get behind a candidate, make sure that that candidate can actually understand the needs of our people, articulate their own plan. You know, what is it that they're going to do? And trying to focus on electing those people who are issue driven. You know, election in Liberia is not issue driven. It's not issue driven at all. And we have a lot of issues. We have so many problems that we need to solve. So my last thought to people is 2023 come and, you know, look at the candidate and actually make that decision. Can that candidate honestly represent me to the fullest? Can that candidate represent my community? This term, interest, you know, we need to start taking that term out of this personal thing. You should use interest as a collective interest. When you benefit, your community should benefit, you know. So my final thoughts to everyone is, give the person the opportunity, give them the chance. The person speaking dialect and not speaking dialect, you know, we have to stop trying to find things to dissect each other. Try to educate those people, like what happened, naking the women because of witchcraft and things like that. There's a different way to handle it, and I think our people are handling that thing right now. So really, I'm just really excited, and I'm looking forward to 2023, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot. And I'm hoping at the end of this year, I will have a project that will be completed in Wisdomtown. You know, it's healthcare. We're going to have several little things that will be going on. So I have construction that is on the way right now. So I pray to God by the end of 2019, that will be completed, and we will let you guys know. And we're going to have a grand opening. So I'm just praying we can do that by the end of this year.
Awesome. And if any of our viewers would like to get on your team or get involved or help you out, what can they do, or who can they reach out to?
I am on Facebook as Forward Ever. I believe in that term. I use that term, Forward Ever. I'm not looking behind, so they can always find me at Forward Ever. And you know, I'm trying to get a media team together that will try to engage others on social media. Social media is very important. So to reach me, I'm forever on social media. You can always send me inbox me. I will give you my phone number. I will give you my email address. And when I'm in Liberia, I spend a lot of my time over in Marshall, or I'm in Sino County. So I will really appreciate those who would want to be on the team and really, get to know who I am. Don't listen to what somebody said. Get to know that person. And that's one of the mistakes our people do. They listen to what someone said, and they do not take the time to actually learn that person. Because when you learn that person may not be what others are saying. I am a very passionate person in what I believe in. If I believe in something, you cannot take it away from me. I am going to fight for it. So I believe that 2023, I am going to be the best candidate. I am going to be a very strong candidate. I am going to be a very force. I am going to be a force in 2023. As long as I have the strength, I have the breath, and I believe in the issue. When it comes to debate, my debate skills, I trust myself. So those, if you need a candidate that is very strong and passionate about the issue and making sure that do the things that they say that they're going to do, I think I am the candidate. And I pray that when the time come around, people will look at me as a candidate. Don't look at me as a female. You look at me as a female. That's a good thing. But look at me as someone that can actually do the work, that can actually do the job, that can actually provide, that can actually deliver. So I want people to see me in that light.
Right. And talking about female, there's a comment again from Phils D. Vavi. Say we need more ladies on board. If you look at the current legislature, we have, I think, 9 ladies in the House and 2 or probably 1 in the Senate. And I know that's what you were trying to change by your run. But before
absolutely
out of time, but to what extent is that less ladies population, impacting or not impacting the legislature or the things that they are supposed to be doing?
And you see, that is where the education comes in, because the women of Liberia, they have to understand you have the power in your hands. Politics is interest, true. But if you have only 1 female in the Senate and 9 female in the House, how are they going to advocate for needs? How are they going to advocate for issue that is pertaining to women? When the budget is passed, issue pertaining to women are not in the budget. And so Liberian women have to understand that you have to support a woman so she can go out there and advocate for your needs. I am a strong believer that we need more female in the House. And people say, well, we're not going to vote for someone because they're a female, but you have to understand, I am the majority of the population, so I should be represented. And I made this statement, and I always make an analogy. How is it, if you look at South Africa, how is it you have 98% maybe blacks and 2% are white, but the 2% is ruling the 98%? That don't make sense. That does not make sense. Women need to be at the table, but we can't blame anyone but the women, because the women do not support each other. They don't support each other. So how that issue is going to be addressed, and sometimes I understand the reason why the women don't support each other. And I will be very, very frank that I was a little disappointed with the women until I sat with the women and I understood why they don't really support each other. And I was like, okay, I understand. I know, because I was in that same position. Because when, unfortunately, when women get into position, they get a little big and they're not really accommodating. That's what the women were saying. But we have to change that. We really, really have to change it. We need to be at that table. For any country to develop, everyone that represent in that country, and women is a large population in that country, so they should be represented. But we can't blame anyone if the women don't go out there and vote and support each other. So that is one of the things that I'm really, really focusing on, is to educate my women I have a women group, and they go out there. We having little meetings, and they will call me, and I will talk to them. I'm like, look, we have to change the narrative. Okay, we have the numbers on our side, but we are not at the table. And in order to make those changes, we have to be at the table.
All right, that's a good way to end the show tonight. We want to say thank you so much for being a part. It takes courage after losing an election to come back and say, I've lost, this is why I've lost, and I'm going to go at it again. So I really commend you for coming. Tonight we have extended invitation to another candidate from district number 10 in Montserrado County. He agreed, but due to some scheduling conflicts, he was not able to be here. That's Mr. Leo Momba, who ran against and was defeated by the incumbent Yeke Koluban. We have another candidate from district number 2 in Neva County by the name of Preston Pay. He just returned from Liberia, and so there was some scheduling conflicts as well. So we have you, and we want to say thank you so much for joining us. We want to thank our audience for watching. We have bills that we are paying, so we are grateful to those who once in a while they chip in and give us some for us to continue to broadcast this live show. So once again, I want to say thank you for coming, and thanks to our viewers. Now back to you, Danielle, for closing.
Thank you again to our viewers. Thank you to Mrs. Jegbadai-Fully for joining us. And I also want to use this as a moment to remind all of those in the diaspora who sometimes get a little discouraged by the reception we receive when we get to Liberia. I think Mrs. Fully is a great example of what our attitude should be. That even if maybe our people don't accept us the first time, keep trying, because we are all that we have is each other. So whether we are in Liberia or in the diaspora, we are one, and we will only achieve greatness when we work together. So let's keep trying. Okay, and please join us again next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, which is 10 p.m. Liberia time. We're here every Sunday, and we look forward to having you. So thank you. Thank you to our guests, and thank you to our viewers.
Thank you.